Welcome to day 7 of our 30-day yoga challenge. Today's practice invites us to cultivate tranquility as we explore Trikonasana, engage in breath work, and experience Zen meditation to enhance mobility and inner peace. Our intention for this session is to learn to be tranquil. Let's begin our journey towards inner serenity.
So today we are going to get started in a different position. This position also is a meditative position. It is indeed possible to meditate in a position like this. So the name of the position is Vajrasana, and it reminds me of the days when I lived in Japan. I lived in Japan for 4 years and I was regularly practicing their Zen meditation called Zazen. In Zazen, you get to sit like this with your legs folded and you meditate for at least half an hour. And then if you wish to continue, you can continue the practice for another half an hour. So now you would ask, Zubin, how comfortable it is to sit in a position like this? Well, the answer is, if you're not used to sitting on the floor, you would find this position a bit challenging because there's a lot of weight on the ankles and your bones might feel that they're getting pushed even if you are sitting on a soft surface. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be practicing it. It only means that you may not be able to hold this position for long duration, but you can start this, let's say, for anything under 30 seconds, practice it for 30 seconds, see how you feel. Sitting in a position like this often would make your joints and the muscles around the joints, especially the ankle joints, a little bit more flexible. They will have better range of motion, and that is a great thing if you're someone who is an athlete, because this can prevent you from any kind of injury. So from here now you're going to get yourself standing on your knees. So you stand on your knees and send your knees a little bit wider, as wide as your hip girdle is. Now from there, keep your toes pointed out and you're going to extend your left leg out. So you bring the heel almost in the same line where the right knee is, and that kind of creates the shape of a right triangle. So once you create that shape of a right triangle, you want to make sure that your chest and your tummy continues to face right in front, and from there you're going to bring both your arms at your shoulder level. Now this is a variation of Trikonasana, which literally means triangle, and the difference here is that you have your one knee resting. As we grow into our practice, we will begin to practice the normal triangle position, but for the moment we get started in this one. So arms at your shoulder level, slide your left arm out as far as it can get. Imagine you can only move in this dimension, so reach out with your fingers as far as they can get, and then slightly lower the left hand down on the inner side of the left leg. So once you have the hand touching the floor, you make sure that your forearm, the back of the forearm, is in touch with your left leg. Now this kind of creates a block, so you just have to push the belly forward, and from there you're going to send the right arm over the head and continue to reach out with your fingers as far as they can get. Continue leaning your body weight a little bit further down with each breath. Keep your neck relaxed and keep your gaze fixed more towards the skies or more towards the ceiling, and just hold that position with paying more attention towards the breath that goes in. And you will begin to notice how the breath is working on your body. When you breathe in, since the air needs all that space inside your lungs, it will give your body a little bit of a rise. But when you breathe out, it will create all those muscles to stretch even more, so that your body can tilt and lean a little bit further down, producing a beautiful stretch coming on the right hand side of the torso. So you want to hold it for that stretch, continue breathing. And if you're getting tired with your arm up there, you can spread the fingers of your arm, get the hand right behind your head and keep the elbow pointing up and look up towards the ceiling. Now slowly when you breathe out, you're going to get the body out of this, back, and keep the leg in the exact same spot. Now simply bring your right hand on the right side of the knee. Now one common mistake here is placing the hand way too close. See what happens when you place the hand way too close? One, your arm is working a lot. Second, your spine doesn't get that length it needs and the space it needs. So you make sure that your right hand is right under the shoulder. And how would you remember it? Just think of the shape that you're creating, just like the way you were creating a right triangle on the left hand side with your legs. You're creating a rectangle here, and you want to maintain the rectangle by pushing your belly forward, and you would also keep your right hand, right knee and the left heel almost in one straight line. And from there, you're going to extend your left arm out over the head, reach out with your fingers, and notice how much of space you have created between the toes of the left foot and the fingers of the left hand. So create as much space as you can and keep your neck relaxed and be able to breathe. Breathe in deeper and longer. When you breathe out, you're going to push against the floor and you're going to bring yourself up and out and back. Now from there, bring your left leg forward like this and see if you can stretch the leg out in front, and from there put both your hands by the side of the leg. So both your hands, let's say, on the border of the mat. Now it's completely your call how much you want your stretch to be intense right now. So if you want a bit of more intense, you could go a little bit further forward with your hands, but to begin with, see, we can keep your hands in line almost with the knees. So bend the arms. So let's say we are going to do tiny push-ups here. Continue to breathe in and out. Now hands will remain fixed, heel will remain fixed. You just need to move your hips from one side to the other. So you push your hips to the right, far down to the right, and just like how we learned in the class yesterday, that by shifting your body weight, you can totally control how much of stretch comes along the hamstring and make the stretch travel from one part of the body to the other. You're going to practice that. And this practice helps us staying longer in a pose, which means the body gets more time to respond, which also means that muscles get more exposed to those stretches, and then the results will be better. Now from here, take your right hand to the right corner of the mat like this. So between your right hand, left heel, and the right knee, you kind of form an equilateral triangle. Now open the chest up, get your left hand right behind your head and push your hips to the left. By taking the force and the strength from the right arm, you press against it, you push, you slide your hips to the left, and you begin to see where the stretches are working right now. You breathe in, a long deep inhalation. So keep going in and out of the pose. So by breathing in, you rise, and by breathing out, you march. Beautiful stretch on the left hand side of the left hip. And this is when you're going to bring yourself back to the center here. And now bring your right hand. It's going to get a little bit challenging here. So your right hand now goes on the outer side of the left. Now this hand is going to block this shin here. Both your hands would remain there, and you just have to push your hips to the right, and you notice how the stretch goes a lot more intense. A lot of people keep your knee bent, so make sure that your left leg remains straight and you keep pushing your hips to the side. This is when you breathe out and you're going to bend the leg and sink down with the hips towards the heel in front. And also, just like the way we learned in the previous class, the Trikonasana, you sink down by bringing your hips closer to the heel in front. Breathe out, and we are going to bring your left knee back. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Stretch. Let's revise all the details, because details are very important. Now here the common mistake is to take the leg too far. No, we don't want that right now. So just make sure that you are creating a right triangle and the pillar on the left remains solid. So once you're there, you're going to bring both your arms at your shoulder level, chest remaining up. You slide your upper body out to the right. Now not forward, not back, just in line with the leg. Reach out, and just by doing so, you will notice the stretch begins to appear on the left hand side of the torso. And then you'll lower the right hand down like we did on the other side. The back of the shin will be touching your right leg somewhere, and that is where you want to produce that kind of leverage. So you block the leg from going forward, but you push the belly forward. You want to be as flat as you can. Not this. You want to open and go forward. Now send your left arm over the head and notice how the muscle belt on the left, all the muscles that are in action right now, the kind of stretch that's being produced here, the obliques, how they're getting challenged, and how the breath is playing a big important role here. Let's exaggerate the movement of the breath. So see what happens. So every time I breathe in, my body wants to rise, but every time I breathe out, my body wants to create more space for me to tilt down. Then when you breathe in, you're going to gently bring yourself out of this. And when you come out of this, you might feel a little bit of tingling sensation, and that happens. And as we have learned in the previous classes, when you get yourself into a pose, you hold your blood from supplying into a certain part of the body. If any point you feel that there's a lot of weight on the knee, feel free to use a cushion. I'm going to use this one. This is a yoga block, and it's always a good idea to get one if you're starting your practice. So this goes right under the knee. If you don't have this for the moment, you could always use a towel and double fold it. From here, you're going to now extend the arms back at your shoulder level and lower the left hand down onto the mat in a way that your left arm is parallel to the left thigh. Again, think of the shapes which we were discussing before, a right triangle and almost like a rectangle. Now you just push the belly forward, pull the chest up, and get the hand to go over the head and stretch the arm as far as it can get. And keep pressing into the floor with your left hand as well, so everything on the right maintains the entire length. Keep your neck relaxed and breathe. Now spread the fingers of the right hand open and wide. Place the hand right behind your head and get the elbow to push far back and open. Combine a few deep long inhalations here. And then when you breathe out, you're going to push into the floor. Get the body up and back, bounce out of the pose, and notice the way the blood rushes back again. Now bring your right leg in front. And from here, you're going to keep your right hand, left hand down by the side of the foot and sink down with your hips. So coming into the Trikonasana, keeping your fingers fixed onto the mat where they are, you just slowly begin to pull your right leg straight. So keep your foot where it is, just get your right leg straight. Now this produces a lot of stretch. Now if your hands can be there, you can totally keep them in line with the heel or choose to slide them back. See whatever works for you today. Continue to breathe and shift your body weight from one side to the other. Stretch the hands further away. Feel free to always experiment with the weight and shifting it from one side to the other. Continue breathing. Now from there, you're going to slide your left hand further away towards the left corner. That creates an equilateral triangle. You would push your hips far to the right and send your right arm over the head, reaching out with your fingers. And now get the hand right behind your head and open it back again. Beautiful stretch coming along the hip, torso, good engagement of the muscles in your upper back on the right. Keep breathing. When you breathe out, you're going to come back out of this. When you breathe out, simply bend your right leg, sink down towards your heel with your hips. Interlace your fingers over the knee and pull the chest back. You will be ending the pose and the sequence with a backward bend. Then slowly when you breathe out, gain the weight back again. Remove the cushion and find yourself seated in the exact position where you started from. This was day 7 of your 30-day yoga challenge. I congratulate you for coming this far. This is the course where you would understand a lot of things, a lot of concepts, poses, a lot of techniques to breathe in and out, how to safely practice yoga, and how to build a solid yoga foundation. This is me, Zubin Atre, signing out for today. I'll see you tomorrow with day 8 of 30-day yoga challenge. Thank you very much.